So as I sing praises to your name, then I worship you, or I worship you. You can do the other one. I lift my hands. I did this. Now I knew I'm going to fall. I can do praises to your name, and I worship you. Chord changes are good, don't get me wrong, but adding fill makes your playing richer and more dynamic. So in this lesson, I will show you how to use a simple fill to enhance your chord and explain how it works step by step. I'll be using I Lift My Hands in Worship by Sinach as an example. But this fill can work in lots of genre of music. Fills in between chords are short decorative musical phrases played to add movement and interest during transition between chord changes. So there are some certain rules you need to know before you start adding fills to your playing. The first is you need to identify the chords you are working with. For example, in the song I Lift My Hands in Worship by Sinach, the chords are chord 1, then we have chord 5, chord 3, and chord 4. So these chord changes, you need to understand their inversions. For example, I know this is chord 1, root position, the first inversion, second inversion. So I can get it across the piano. The next chord, chord 5, I can do chord 5 this way. If I play root position, majority of you know, if you follow my tutorial, you already know this position already. Root position, you can do another inversion here, and you can also do another inversion like this. Then the next one is chord 3, which you can play this way or this way. So get to know the chord which is involved in the song and their various inversions. The next rule is identify and analyze the scale. For example, on this same song we're looking at, the song is on the C. You can even listen to the song yourself, which means it's on the scale of C major. You must have this at the back of your mind that when I have a major, I also have its relative minor. It's very important you take this alongside when you are playing, because we're going to apply these two scales in this tutorial. So when you have the major, you take along with the word the relative minor. In another case, depending on the song, you take along the parallel minor. But in this song we are using, we just need the relative minor, which is the A natural minor. The third rule you need to know is spot the gap. Look for rhythmic space between the chords where a fill would fit. So when you are adding a fill, you are not just putting it anywhere. You need to understand where you need to put in this fill. Now, application of these rules. The song we're doing is on the key of C. I worship you, great I am. Remember, you need to know the chords and their various inversions. Or I do this, if I'm doing this. See my left hand, instead of my left hand playing this, I did this inversion. So I worship you, great I am. So I've identified the key. I've also understand the chords and their various inversions. Lord, you are mighty in this place. That's a chord. Next one, I lift my hands. I did something there in worship. So we're going to chord 3. As I sing praises to your name, I worship you. That's the first rule. The second rule, analyze the scale and determine the key, which we've even gotten the key from the first one we've done, because without the key, you might not even be able to identify the chords and inversion. So I worship you, great I am. Let me stay calm there. Lord, you are mighty in this place. See now, let's look at it. I lift my hands. I'm going to chord 5. Now, I'm going to play the major scale and the relative minor here. They will harmonize each other. So there is this secret I want to give out. Whenever you are practicing your scale like this, your practicing of scale doesn't just end on just similar motion like this. No, you should be able to play the scale in sixth. Let me explain sixth. Sixth is, for example, if I pick the C, my sixth degree of the scale, which is A, if I play them together, look at this. Let me play like this. They form a sweet harmony. Likewise, I can decide to take the sixth down, which is A here. You see that now? It forms a good harmony. You need to also practice your scale in thirds. For example, look at this. You see, that forms a kind of cool harmony. So they use that at the part I want to play. So I lift my hands. Look at it. Let me take that slowly. Well, I don't mind my fingering. You can try to practice with a proper one that you feel comfortable on. I sigh, sing. I'm going to the chord 3. Praises to your name. I worship you. Did you see the importance of knowing the relative minor of your major? Spot the gap, okay? Like the one I just did now. So I lift my hands. So the gap is here. 30, 30. I can still do I can do that there. So I spot that gap and I quickly squeeze in that harmony there using the major scale on my right hand. Then I'm using the relative minor on my left hand. And one thing you can exclude rhythm also. For example, so shaking. I call this the shaking method, which is rhythm. So shake your chords out. Don't just block. Don't just play block chord or to shake your chord out. These are basic rules you can also apply. So I worship you, great I am. You see, something interesting, Lord, you are. See that? You mighty in this place. See that? I lift my hand. You now imagine you did. I lift my hand. See that? I sing. Oh, don't let me go there. Praise it to your name. Shake out your chord, but not all the time. You need to know when you need to play the block chord and when you need to break them or you shake them. In fact, shaking your simple triad chords goes a long way. Once you're done with the basic rules, it's now time for you to couple that rules with some techniques. So there are some techniques you need to understand. So with this, you are increasing the playing vocabulary. Because if you don't understand all these techniques, you can't even know what other people are doing. Do you understand now? So the first technique you need to learn or you need to know is arpeggios. What is arpeggios? For example, if I have a chord like this and I play this, so that is arpeggios. It's different from that. So I'm talking about arpeggios. So when you practice your chord, you need to also practice arpeggio at the same time. That's for chord 1, chord 5. Let's say I'm playing my chord 1 this way. I can still play my arpeggios like this. Let's say I'm playing chord 3. I can do this. So in fact, arpeggios are very, very important. If you listen to this song by Destiny Child, there's an intro there, which is this. You see how important arpeggios are. Number 2, rhythm. I've made mention of this in the basic rules that you can't exclude rhythm. There's no amount of chords or the techniques you know. If you don't apply rhythm to it, it will still make your playing boring. Your name, I strike that block chord and I bounce to the next one. So rhythm is the skeleton of music. The next technique you need to learn is scales runs. Runs is just there are some couple of notes you played rapidly, quickly. I've done it. For example, I lift my hands in worship. Look at it now. As I sing praises to your name, and I worship you. You see what I did there? I quickly do this run there. At the end of it. So runs comes in most time when you have gap. I started a song of recent. The starting of the song it was a run. You can learn a run by listening to people, by scoring, and you can also create yours too. There's one I always do when I play my chords in circle of fifth. For example, I do this run too. You see that? So look at that. So that I can't do it in this song because I don't have a dominant seventh chord. So I did this type of runs in my last tutorial. I can also do it again here. So it's a lot of practice. By the time you start playing, you'll find out that one day maybe you just make a mistake that results to the runs. So for this song, I play a runs if I end with this inversion of chord 4 on the same song. So I lift my hands in worship as I sing praises to your name. Look at it. So what run is that? I just did my F major 7th, but I added the ninth. But my target is playing F major 7, but I added the ninth. So as I sing praises to your name, then I worship you, or I worship you. Another run again there. So that's runs. The next technique you can apply is passing notes. For example, if you listen to the song just follow a basic chord progression, which is I lift my hands in worship as I sing praises to your name, and I worship you. So I can do a passing chord to these chords. So if I want to do, I can do I lift my hands in worship. So I'm going to chord 5. So I can do I lift my hands in worship. You see, it changed the mood of that. I can do it like this. I lift my hands in worship. See, I've substituted that chord progression. Or I can do I lift my hands in worship. I'm going to 3 as I sing. Now I knew I'm going to 4. I can do praises to your name, and I worship you. You see what I did there? So I pass with. We're going to talk about passing chords or passing notes soon. So I did my 251. So 251. I knew I'm going to F, so I did the 2 on F, then the 5, and then back to 1. So I just played the melody to 5. Number 4 techniques you need to learn is grace note. This is very simple. I do that a lot too when I'm playing. If you've been watching my tutorial, if you notice it, I always do that almost every time I do grace note. So what is grace note? It's just for you to play in one beat, you quickly play 2 notes. That's the simplest way to explain grace note. For example, I lift, you see what I did there? I grace, then to hold this, I lift my hands, then I did. But you might not want to do chromatic. That's another one, another feel I'm already playing ahead. I lift, see I grace it, my hands in worship. I decide not to grace. As I sing praises to your. See that grace? So I go to the dominant 7. I just grace down. See, you can grace using notes within the major scale, like what I've done. Or you can also grace using notes outside, and that's why I mentioned the parallel minor. I can decide to grace even like this. I did that at the introduction. If you remember that intro, I did that too. So you can grace between notes outside the major, which means you can grace within note with it. You can grace with the parallel minor scale of the same key. Remember, I told you about the major scale, relative minor, parallel minor. So you can grace with the parallel minor notes there. Number 5 techniques you can apply is chromatic fill. I've done this accidentally when I was explaining the other techniques. So chromatic means you are just moving in semitones. So I leave my hands. I did this. You see what I did? I did. Then I landed with the chord. You know that for a key of C, for example, or for any key, there are several scales attached to it. That's what I want you to know first. So that's what I've said: major to C, relative minor to C, parallel minor to C. We also have chromatic scale to C. So you can quickly play some notes of the C chromatic scale to add your feel. I worship you, great higher. Lord, you are mighty in this place. So look at it. I lift my hands in worship. I sing praises to your name. I worship. Most time you can even do with the left hand. For example, let's say I'm going to chord 3. I know I'm going to chord. I lift my hands in worship. So I'm going to chord 3. I can do this. Praises to your name. Number 6, chord inversions. I've mentioned this is very important. I said it in my other tutorial. Don't let anyone deceive you that you only need one inversion of piano playing. Wrong. Otherwise, you won't be able to feel those. You won't be able to feel your chord changes. I lift my hands in. See the rest of. I sing, praises to your. See what I did there? And I worship. See that the way I was just moving. In fact, to help your runs, you need to know a lot of inversion because you need to learn to see the different shape of chord. Most time when it's chord runs, you are just breaking a particular chord. So which means that, for example, if you have the C dominant 7th, I must be able to see it here, I must be able to see it here, I must be able to see it here. And I can decide to play it on different inversion. This is another C dominant 7th again, another inversion. So I must be able to see this is another C dominant 7th, another inversion. So chord inversion is very important when you are trying to add feels to your playing. So it allows you to move easily. Not every time you just play in a particular position. Remember what feels means: a decorative phrase to make your playing not boring. Okay, so inversions are very important. Lift my hands in worship. I sing. See, I can do that. Praises to your. See what I did? And I worship. So see that again? I did that grace note, and you can see the way I was able to move to different positions. Number 7 technique is suspended chord. Good. So I lift my hands in worship. That's if you want to give that tension. See, I did that G suspended fourths. So you can work on suspended fourth. You can work on suspended second. I do this a lot even around here. So for example, sometimes I do this suspended chord. I use it as a runs. You see that I can do. Sorry, my pedal is not working. That's why you're not seeing it sustaining together. It's detached. But this is it. See suspended. Imagine highly my hands. Oh, okay, let's do it at the end. Highly my hands in worship. I sing praises to your name. I worship you. Is the suspended. Second, on the C, you can also do this. I lift my hands in worship. So you can even do that suspended over, which will give you a polychord, over the chord of C. I lift my hands in worship. I sing praises to your name, and I worship. Suspended chord. You should know that suspended chord creates a tension and resolving. Please take note of that. So because when I did this, you can see it's hanging. That tension is hanging. Then my hands in worship. I go to chord 5. As I sing, then go do this. Praises to your watch, and I worship you. See the tension? Your name, and I worship you. The next type of technique is playing the melody in octaves. So octave means 8. One thing that I think I do that helped me is playing classical music. I learned how to play in octave when I was playing entertainer. Da-di-da-da-di-da, da-di-da-da-da. So we did that. So if you go play those classical music, they will help you. In fact, I also learned in octave when I was playing Turkish march. You see, my right hand was playing in octave. So if you take that to the techniques we are looking at, so instead of just standing on this, I can do this. In worship. You see what I did? So ta pa 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 pa. Just to quickly play the melody, like I'm harmonizing the melody, but in octave. So instead of playing in worship, I sing praises to your name, and I worship you. See what I did again there? And the last technique, which is one of the most easiest one, is scale. So, for example, I was playing something highly. You need to just play part of the scale of that key, either in relative minor. Most time, in this case, it's more of the relative minor, which is the A, or parallel minor. So, I lift my hands in worship. Remember we've done, right? Then I sing. You see what I did? So I just played from part of the scale of I started from the third to land on the chord 3. Praises to your. You see what I did there again? This technique is one of the easiest you can even start with. Scale, very important. Just play part of the scale, either the major or the relative minor or parallel minor. Look at it again. I can do the. You know, I did that in octave. My hands in worship. Right there. Chromatic. I sing praises to. See what I did again? Harmonizing 6 again. To get that melody, or you can also still work. I lift my hand in I sing praises to you. I can also do that again. So I did I grace, but then they know. I started from the 4th. I can even do this. You see what I did there? You can also work your name, and I worship. Please take note of this, that not all these techniques you are going to apply article. Yes, you can apply 2, 3, or 4 of it, but don't have it at the back of your mind that, oh, I want to apply chromatic, I want to apply trill, I want to apply grace. No, you take it one after the other. If it might, you can start with the scale techniques, you can start with the chromatic techniques. Just make sure that you do it decently. Don't overdo it. And you should know that there are also times whereby you just need to stay on the chord, whereby the song doesn't need you to do too much fills. Because if you do it too much also again, it's not good. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, share with friends and family. If you have any question, don't forget to drop it in the comment section. We'll link to and give you an answer.